Alright, so with the upcoming Boruto time skip, that's kind of got me thinking about the potential for the main characters and what their growth will probably be in the future. So one main possibility that I thought of that the show could decide to bring back was Sage Mode, right? We've already actually seen Mitsuki enter his own Snake Sage Mode, but that kind of reminded me, what would be the possibility for a Slug Sage Mode? Now, I know what you're thinking, we haven't really seen this before, but there's definitely a possibility, and it's a very, very strong possibility, right? Now, before we kind of jump into the possibility and what this variation of Sage Mode would entail and who would have it, let's kind of just talk about Sage Mode for a second, right? For those who don't know, Sage Mode is essentially like a state created by mixing your own chakra with nature energy, and it allows you to access a new senjutsu chakra, right? Your ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu will all become significantly more powerful, and depending on where you get your Sage Mode from, you can also gain access to a plethora of other abilities. So the Toad Sage Mode themselves have been shown to make natural energy around them an extension of themselves, and in turn increased their natural reach of their attacks. For example, this is showcased by Naruto in the Pain fight. And the Snake Sage Mode has been showcased to be able to use natural energy to essentially, bring to life inorganic substances and kind of control them, right? This was shown by Kabuto in the fight against Itachi and Sasuke. Now, even Hashirama has shown his own variation of Sage Mode, which we don't know exactly where it came from. It seems to be unique to him as it enhances his wood-style jutsus, right? Now, you can usually tell if someone is in Sage Mode by the pigmentation around their eyes, but usually if it's less perfected, you will see some visual imperfections that will become, apparently visible. This is predominantly showcased in the Toad Sage Mode, where Jiraiya gets a bunch of Toad features, and Kabuto to a certain extent gets some Snake features as well, but him and Mitsuki, that's a different variation of Sage Mode, so those seem to be near perfected. Now, why exactly do we think that there's a Slug Sage? Well, first of all, we know that Sage Mode can be taught in two main places that we've seen, although there are more than two variations of Sage Mode, as we know. Mount Miyaboku by the Toad Sage, and the Ryuchi Cave by the Snake Sage. Now, these are home to 2 out of the 3 great summoning animals of the legendary Sannin, and the third legendary location, as stated by Kabuto in the fight against Itachi and Sasuke, was said to be Shikotsu Woods, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is home to, Lady Katsuyu, which is the third summoning animal of Tsunade, which is the third Sannin, Now, you could try to argue that Hashirama's Sage Mode is from here, seeing that he is a Senju as well as Tsunade, and seeing that the place has woods in the name and he uses wood style. That could be where he got his Sage Mode, but usually the variations of Sage Mode are correlated to where they got it from. For example, the Toad Sage and the Snake Sage, and it's not very fitting for Hashirama. It doesn't seem to make as much sense, seeing that there would probably be a Slug Sage there because that's where Lady Katsuyu is from, and his abilities are not tied to or correlated to anything in her vicinity, right? So I'm assuming that's more than likely unique to him. Now, as far as hypothetical appearance and abilities, I feel like seeing that other Sage Modes have these color schemes correlating to their respective location, like the Toad Sage having like red and orange markings, I can speculate that the Slug Sage would probably have like a bluish or perhaps a darker color scheme to either match Lady Katsuyu or the strength of 100 Su. But these could vary because, Jiraiya has red while Naruto and Minato seem to have orange markings, and, Kabuto and Mitsuki's Sage Modes seem to be vastly different. Now, the advantages to using this Slug Sage Mode would probably be very similar to the other Sage Modes as far as amps, but with probably a few notable differences. First of all, Lady Katsuyu is known for being able to use some basic acid attacks, make many clones, and is tied to the strength of 100 CL, which is with amplified healing abilities. I assume that someone who enters this Slug Sage Mode would inherit some of those healing abilities and that healing factor to an incredible extent, as well as enhanced Senjutsu and all the other benefits of Sage Mode as well. And we could probably see this a little bit later in the franchise. We know that the time skip is coming up, that's why I kind of wanted to bring this up. And we did not see this in the original franchise, but it does have the potential to make an appearance in the Boruto time skip. I see Sarada being probably the best candidate for this, as she has connections to Sakura, who trained directly under Tsunade, who, as we know, is the third Sannin, who has the third summoning, Lady Katsuyu. So again, there's not a whole lot to cover here. This is more of a hypothetical Sage Mode that could be pretty probable in the near future, but that's up to you guys to decide. If you guys like more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to join the Discord down below. It's eventually going to turn into a paid Discord, but for this next week, it's going to be entirely free if you guys want to jump in there. in there. It's going to be completely free. Do it now before it turns paid. But again, if you guys like more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.